All right, welcome back, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get back on into things. So when we last left off, we found our little goblin friend stuck away underneath that devilish contraption Conrad had trapped him beneath. Conrad, this little man's asking for some toes. What are you going to do about it?
Is this thing visible to the rest of the party? Sorry, I just want to...
Oh, yeah. When it rattled the cage, it did manage to knock the cover off, so I think everyone else is able to behold this little creature now.
What the
Has
hell?
Beck ever seen one of these before?
You've seen things like this, but as far as you're aware, the creatures of the other side tend to be very individualistic in appearance. No two look the same, but you can categorize them in terms of behaviors.
But this is, I guess, technically, even if the form is different, this is the rough shape of a creature that I have encountered before.
Yeah, and if you want to give me an occult check, you can see if you know anything about this particular persuasion of creature.
Probably can't. That would be a no.
That'll be a no. It's definitely some kind of other side critter, but you don't know much beyond that.
Sounds good.
Can I roll?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't recognize it, but it recognizes you.
Something deep in your gut tells you that this creature is not to be trusted. It's almost like you have heard the song of almost like you have heard the song of the bees warning you about creatures like this. They are crafty, wily little things, more cunning than their limited vocabulary would make you suspect. But that's just a gut feeling. You don't really have anything concrete to back that up with.
So I just sort of ask the room at this point, has anyone seen anything like this before?
Like Rick?
Nah. I've seen plenty of things on the other side, but I can't say I've seen anything this fucking ugly.
Damn.
Say it right to his face, why don't you?
He's right.
Beck doesn't give a shit. Beck doesn't care.
We just learned that mirrors don't exist in this universe.
Oof. Burn.
Poor thing.
I say I got a feeling that's smart. Be careful.
Okay, I make a mental note of that comment, trusting your input. So I guess I'm just going to ask him directly. Lord Barbatos, do you know who that is? Or what that is?
Barbatos?
I see.
You walked into that one.
With your toes.
So, you want toes, right?
Toes?
So at this point, I just lift up my webbed foot and put it dangerously close to the cage, a little too trustingly. How does he respond?
It grimaces and backs away at your disgusting lack of toes.
Oh my god, you offended it.
Listen, I think I know where I can find toes. Let me try.
Please.
Okay.
I think Beck smirks and walks up to Conrad and goes, "Now this is an opportunity." And is this like a crate or a cage or what?
It's like a crate with some gaps between the slats of the wood planks that make it up enough that you can see into it.
Gotcha. Conrad, I think you're looking at this from the wrong perspective. See, this thing wants toes, right? But it don't got whatever your stinky feet have. Now, I think that he thinks you're mighty unpleasant. We could use that.
I was
We
thinking
could torture it for answers.
Okay, I was about to say we were thinking the exact same thing. I have another direction we can go in. There might be some human remains in the church still, so I keep saying that word. I don't know what that means. There might be people remains in the church still.
In the context, this is a lore thing. I called Ka on that, saying something about humanity in Cave Escape, and he said, I quote, "Humanity in the context of this world refers to all sentient beings."
Oh, thank
Yeah.
God.
So there you go.
Otherwise,
There's your hand
language
wave.
becomes very hard.
Yeah, exactly.
They would have to call it something.
Yeah.
Whatever a person is.
If you follow the Bigfoot theory, maybe that's the missing link that unites them all. Who knows?
Big toe? What?
Yeah, big toes.
Anyway, as you were saying.
Okay.
Oh,
Jeez.
all right.
Okay, listen there, little guy. I know some of my friends have toes, but believe it or not, they're terrible tasting. Worst toes you'll have ever tasted in your life. You don't want
No.
them. Yeah, they'll make you sick. They'll give you these weird, like, warts. You don't want them. Well, okay. Warts you don't want. Okay, but just trust me, we're gonna help find you some toes. Do you want to come with?
Good toes?
Yes, but you have to promise to not eat my friend's toes. Trust me, they're the worst.
But what if tasty?
So, let's see.
I will smash this thing's head in if it comes near my toes.
Oh, goodness.
These toe tests?
So
What are you sciencing?
I'm sciencing fashioning a muzzle for him
Ooh, I like that.
and a leash.
And meanwhile, Beck is whipping him?
no, I am. So I'm not whipping him. What Beck does is reach behind him, seeing what Conrad is like trying to set up, and Beck, from behind him, from his poncho, basically, he just quickly unfurls a full bullwhip and just cracks it on the ground next to the creature.
Ooh.
And he just says, "Oh, we can play this game."
All right, it is terrified of Beck. And we are now constructing a rudimentary toe-proof muzzle for this goblin.
So
All
at,
right.
at this point, I'm
Really,
thinking,
all Conrad's science roll is doing is he's gonna take a shoelace and tie it over his mouth with a big pretty bow.
In fact,
yeah.
you do find a discarded pair of boots here, and you think that might make good material for this particular purpose.
excellent. So yeah, I go ahead and just tie his mouth shut, and I say, listen, he's gonna pull out that whip again and get very angry if you try eating any of our toes. But I'm on your side. I'm gonna find you some delicious toes. Sound good?
His snoot just down the long side of the boot that's been tied around his face.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd do it.
Let me see. Okay, yeah. I think I'm good with that now. So I tied his mouth shut and made like a leash of sorts.
All right, so you have acquired a somewhat tame goblin companion. What are you gonna do with it?
He's gonna follow us, I guess. He's gonna go where we go for now.
All right.
Could I
Where this
look
thing
for?
come from?
Yeah, I wanted to see. Could I look for anywhere that it's been or trapped in any evidence of intelligent life or construction or something that would maybe betray something that we don't know about this creature that I might not be saying?
Give me a notice check.
Okay.
This creature's too cum-brained.
It's true.
You captured the gooner.
Ooh, my rolls are bad tonight.
They sure are. That's unfortunate. You're not noticing like any tracks or any traces of where it might have come from, unfortunately.
all Nicodemus finds is a copy of Toes Monthly, just wadded up in the corner.
So, try not to metagame too hard. I think Lynn will ask Conrad, like, why the hell is this thing in here?
Actually, I don't know how he got here in the first place. Believe it or not, the kids somehow locked him up.
Now,
How
this
did
is
kid
And then I
trap
just sort
this
of,
time?
built the tighter construction here, so.
kids are trouble. This is why I hate them.
You're gonna mind your manners around him while we go figure out what the fuck this thing even is.
Oh, is that a threat, big man?
Ooh, it's a promise.
All right. Does that mean your next destination is to go talk to Kit?
I don't want to say out loud what I'm doing here. That was not a great roll, was it?
No.
Okay.
You got minis.
Better roll.
That's a better roll. What you trying to do?
Okay.
You
I will
can
talk.
PM that to me if you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not immediately relevant, so.
Alrighty. All right. So now with Goblin in tow, is your next objective to
In
go
tow?
see Kit? Yeah. I know what I did.
Gotta keep that goblin in tow before you end up with toe and goblin.
Boo.
Or do you have somewhere else that you want to head out to first?
It's like I want to see Beck, or I want to see Kit, but I don't want to see Beck with Kit. I think that's a bad idea.
You could ask him to wait here while you deal with something.
On your beck and call.
Yeah, I might. I might try to go to the church with Beck and see if the little goblin gremlin guy can find any toes.
Oh, there you go.
That'd
Go
be a good
take your
idea.
goblin for a walk.
Yeah, I'm
while,
gonna take the goblin for a
some of
walk.
the others talk to
Absolutely.
Kit.
I want the guy. I want him to know that I'm really trying to get him some toes here.
All right, so Beck and Conrad are going to head to the church with the goblin. Anyone else going with them, or does everyone else want to head to the sheriff's?
I had to Kit.
All right.
I'll join
And-
Nico.
Chance you any good with kids?
I don't know if I'm good with kids, but I might not scare them like Beck would.
I think I already did that plenty.
Kids are easy. They have no poker face.
We're not going to mention how kids were allowed to drink alcohol in this time period.
I mean, how else
Look,
are you going to get
it
them?
sucks.
Calm down.
Let them have whiskey. They need it.
Okay, so let's see. So next we're going to cut to not the church and not the sheriff's office either, but down on somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yup.
There are whores afoot.
There sure are. Argo, after what happened upstairs, you need a little bit of refuge, a little bit of comfort. And you come on down to a place that's grown increasingly familiar to you over the course of the past month. And you see the last member of the staff that still works down here greeting you with a nod of his head. And he says, "The hero of Southpaw. Lovely to see you again."
Oh, don't hit me with that.
Why does Sugar Plum Fairy play here?
Because it's royalty free.
Oh my god.
Well, there are fairies here, so it does
And
make
sugar.
sense.
Lots of sugar.
Mm.
Argo just
Ah.
pushes in familiar hands, finding their way under the shirt, around the back, and they end up on something soft.
Might have to start calling you the hero of soft paws.
This guy's good.
The jealousy in his voice.
Now, tell me, what's on your mind, Argo?
Where do you see yourself next week?
Well, if things don't change at all, you, I suppose.
Oh, that bad, huh?
Trust me, I could do much worse.
You don't have to lie to me.
Oh, sweetheart. You gotta stop beating yourself up.
I mean to ask you something.
Ask away.
You ever been in love?
I thought I might have once. It's a bit hard to tell, I think. The difference between affection and erection.
You living in the after?
I suppose you could say that.
Ever say I had someone once?
You've told me the story a few times when you were a little less sober than you are today.
There's a reason I don't drink.
It's not a good look on you, I have to admit.
I don't know what it was, but it is over. Definitively. The kind you can't go back from.
That's a shame. But even when one story ends, that just makes room for another to start.
How much longer do you think there's going to be anything left in here? We used to have roommates.
We did. We sure did. But the Lord saw fit to take quite a lot from us, didn't he?
You miss MT?
I do.
He was your favorite.
He was. Oh, the things he could do with his... Oh, I shouldn't think about that.
I guess what I'm wondering is, if he was out there, would you leave?
If he was out there, I don't know what I could do to bring him back. But if I did know, I think I might try.
You're a stronger man than me.
Oh, of course. You're like, what, 80 pounds soaking wet?
Argo just squeezes him a little tighter and the scene ends.
All right. Let's cut over to the sheriff's office next.
Yo, Strat goes hard though.
I'm glad. Let's see.
I laughed at your comment that was getting wild to the wild of the cloud around me. Sorry.
Alright, so let's find our sheriff. Put him over in the corner.
No.
That's fine. Get him out here. I keep forgetting to bump his size up so he's at the right size. Let's get...
Feels accurate.
And the sheriff, it seems like he's actually awake now.
Oh.
Still covered in blood, though. And when the rest of y'all arrive, let me put some different music on. Let's see. When you arrive, you do see Kit kneeling down by the sheriff, holding the sheriff's head in his lap. And you see the sheriff gulping down some water that he's being offered, but he doesn't seem like he's able to speak at the moment. Kit looks up as he sees the rest of you arrive, and he says, So what happened with Taslin Beck?
He's going to be around for a while. We need you to steer clear of him.
After what I saw, I can't argue with that.
You hold up.
Best
Sheriff.
I can, I suppose. Oh, you talking to the sheriff? I don't think he's in the mood for talking right now. He tried, and a whole bunch of blood and beans came up out of his mouth.
You can just nod his head.
The sheriff doesn't nod his head, so Kit reaches down and nods the sheriff's head for him.
Thanks for staying put and looking after him. Means a lot.
It's most I can do in this situation, I suppose.
You know, on the bright side, kid, you got to meet Taslin Beck. Whoever
I
that
sure
is.
did. I'm kind of wishing I didn't now. I thought he was... I don't know what I thought. Kind of thought outlaws like him might be, you know, just heroes by another name who stick it to the unjust lawmen that are holding us down, but Sheriff Stilton ain't like that. Sheriff Stilton can't hold nobody down, even if he tried.
Well, he saved
The
you.
outlaw life ain't always what it's cracked up to be.
I guess so. And as you're sitting there, speaking with Kit, somebody else arrives. It's the deputy.
No, this clown.
Uh-oh.
The deputy strolls in, his jingle, jangle, jingle, preceding him, and he takes one look at the scene before him, and his face drops immediately, and he takes out his gun. Now, who in the hell did this?
Weren't none of us. You can stand down.
He looks around the room to each of you gathered here, then to Kit and to Stilton. And he puts his gun away, but he doesn't take his eyes off of people. You can tell he is ready to snap that out with a quick draw motion at any moment. And he looks down to Kit and he asks, Kit, you tell the truth now. Who did this? And you can see Kit looks very crossed wires. He doesn't know if he wants to tell on Taslin Beck.
I have a proposal. Out of character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's too much to like try to formulate on the fly, but this dude looks pretty wiry.
Yeah. Agreed.
I think that in this situation, I think Lynn's just going to try to keep the attention on himself, just to kind of diffuse the situation, and just looking Dusty square in the eye says, "The kid's been through a lot tonight. Just give him a moment."
His attention does indeed turn up to Lynn, and he repeats himself. I ain't gonna ask this anymore. I'm gonna ask this one final time. Who shot my sheriff?
I kind of want to back up Lynn and say you need to go look at the church. It's not just the sheriff.
Been through a
Right.
lot tonight. All of us.
I'm gonna take you on your word for that. And he takes his leave and heads towards the church, gun in hand.
He's gonna get shot.
What's he doing to hold up his pants?
He appears to have tied his belt like around itself without a buckle. It looks really bad.
Excellent.
All right. So y'all gonna stay here? Or you gonna follow him?
I'm gonna talk to Kit first
All right.
about the goblin.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Found out that you captured something. We've been stringing it along.
You mean that goblin?
Aye.
Yeah, it was a wily critter. I had to put all kinds of weird snacks out before it finally went for one.
How'd you catch him?
I got some celery and stuffed it in a sausage casing.
Like a toe?
Yeah, like a toad. That's what the legend said they eat. And sure enough, he went for it, but he didn't like it because it weren't real toes.
What legend?
Oh, the legends of the goblins. Like, they call them that because they're always goblin toes.
Is that true? It's kind of like whispering to Nico and Chance.
Nicodemus giving me an occult roll.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Please be true.
Nice.
Oh, they must be referring to goblins with 2 B's, not goblins with 1 B.
Oh.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, goblins are toe eaters. That's all you know about them. But the legends must be true.
Checks out.
This checks out. Yeah, I did a whole bunch of research on them from the back issues of the Mind's Eye Gazette. They got all kinds of stories about cryptids. Well, the Mind's Eye used to report on goings-on in the mine back when there used to be a mine here, but once people found out there weren't no silver in it, then the Gazette turned to more interesting things, reporting on outlaws like Taslin Beck and cryptids like jackalopes.
They have a archive of some of this old lore that you can think of.
No, yeah, there's all at the print office. That's how I learned me my letters and my arithmetic.
Oh.
They got
How long ago
these
did
funny
they
little
shut down the
puzzles in the
mine?
back of it. How long they shut down? Probably just a few years back. They had a slow decline as they turned to more lurid sources of entertainment and amusement. They never got rid of the puzzles, though. Tell you what, puzzles are God's gift to education. I have an entirely puzzle-based education, and I am proud of it.
It shows.
He's just like me for real.
The sentence was funny, but the thought of the ramifications of that, it took a few seconds to hit me. And that's almost even funnier than the idea that the smartest person in this town, the most learned and read person in the town other than Nicodemus and Conrad, is a kid who did a shitload of puzzles in a tabloid office.
Listen, those boys' life spot the differences in goofuses and gallons. They hit different.
He did a lot of crosswords and learned a lot of things.
Never met a puzzle I can't smash.
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna ask him. So, where did you first come across this goblin that made you want to catch him? What was he doing? Where was he?
I saw him sniffing around on the outskirts of town, or there's a couple of them actually, but most of them cleared off. This one was a little more ornery than the rest.
Where'd the rest of them go?
I don't know. They disappeared back out into the fog.
Got a direction?
All around the town. I see him coming from every direction. But I suppose if you went out that a ways, and he points north, that might be your best bet. That's where I saw the most activity.
I get a feeling that these things are a whole lot smarter than they let off. I want you to be careful around them.
Think so? How smart you can be if all you eat is toes. That ain't brain food.
Sorry,
He's
I
got
meant
a
to be
point.
muted.
Now listen here. Some of the most dangerous people you'll ever run into are the ones that want
Eat
you
toes?
to think that they're stupid.
Oh.
All right. I'll take those words to heart, mister.
Good boy. Pat him on the shoulder.
He gets that little blush to him and his tongue sticks out.
At the end of this campaign, we're going to learn his last name is Bueller.
No!
No!
I can't handle that.
I should have saved that for the after show. Sorry. the dialogue, the punchiness of the dialogue just reminded me of like, oh no, not yet. And it just did. Just ran from there. Whew. Whew.
All
Makes
right.
chuckle.
All right. So with that, you got any more questions for him, or are you going to head out?
What's the over-under on that their deputy getting shot already?
Pretty good, I figure. He's a quick shot, but Taslin Beck is Taslin Beck.
We ought to make sure that doesn't happen.
Agreed.
You good here with Stilton?
Yeah, I'll stay here with him.
Appreciate it.
All right. Now let's move back on out to the churchyard.
Where nothing bad ever did happen.
This has been a weird day.
It sure has. Let's see. Over to the churchyard. By now, the fire's died down, and there's just smoldering cinders of ruins that are not pictured in this particular image, but you can imagine them in your mind's eye. And we have Beck and we have Conrad with a leashed goblin sniffing around the ruins, looking for toes.
It's going to be really weird seeing that out of context.
I think Beck is like probably kneeling down are we able to like get into the smoldering wreck? Or is it too hard to navigate?
It's pretty hard to navigate, but you can make your way on in there. It might be a little dangerous. There's a lot that's still hot and smoldering, but you're no stranger to the fire. You've walked with it before.
I think Beck is kneeling in like probably like a puddle, for lack of a better word, like of remains. When he first went in there, you mentioned that the various bodies were mutilated and strewn about. Now, are we talking like full bodies, or are we talking like this is a pile of Doom 2016 viscera that's just sitting on the floor?
Nah, they weren't giblets. They were mostly intact bodies that had been cut open, almost as if a blood offering was made to that creature that was emerging from the corpse of Damascus hung up on the cross.
Beck is like investigating this. The first question is, just to be clear, he doesn't recognize any of this congregation. They all seem to be from this place, right?
Right.
Do I need to investigate? Or
other than Damascus and the goat nun, none of them seem familiar to you at all.
Gotcha. I think he looks at Conrad and goes, I did a real number on these people. You know any of them? I think as he says that too, he's like perks up one of the bodies, like perks up the skull, like the half mauled skull of one of the bodies, and just kind of
you know this skull
to it. You know this one? Know any of these people?
Thankfully, no. I pretty much kept to myself on the outskirts of town most of the time.
Give me a common knowledge roll for Conrad.
Oh.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Maybe I did recognize someone. Who knows?
So you didn't deal with any of these people directly, but in your few trips into town, since it fell to the other side, you heard the rumors going around that all the faithful who were really reverent ended up locking themselves in the church, content to wait out whatever this Armageddon was in there.
Is there like a Huh. Beck is going to, he's gonna do something gruesome. Beck is going to, dip his hand, pierce his hand into the body of one of them, and then sort of like a tracker, touching blood and tasting it and smelling it, he's going to lick his fingertips and see how long have they been dead. Was it recent, or was this staged?
These corpses are pretty charred, but if you want, you can shovel some charred ass flesh into your mouth.
Oh, he's fine with that.
All right.
He's eating worse, for sure.
Yummy. He likes it blackened. So this well-done meat seems like it's been here for a while. And given the nature of how things are starting to decay around here, it's gotten pretty rotten. So you think these dead have been dead for maybe a week by now.
Oh. Gotcha.
Except in the two that were taken care of since you got here, of course.
That's flavor.
So I think at this point too, I'm just trying to. What I came for was looking for snacks. So.
Toes? Oh, unfortunately, you're not able to find any good-looking toes.
Can I help in any way?
Sure, yeah. You can give me a notice.
How would I
also.
do that?
Just also give me a notice.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
This is gonna be hard.
Benny for the toe.
Benny for toes?
Probably can't. Well,
It's gone right
Ooh.
out, pennies.
Ooh!
Oh.
All right. So, there's no toes amongst the dead that were arranged around the cross. But you do notice you didn't manage to get all of Damascus when Erebus set upon him. It looks like the feet came off at the ankle, and they're still attached to the cross. Do you point this out to your little toe-sucking friend?
I think before Beck does anything, Beck is looking up at the cross. Beck is trying to investigate. He's trying to piece together the picture of everything that happened. He understood intrinsically there was something inside of Damascus, this new thing that was emerging, this new Damascus, or this thing that it was host to. He's trying to figure out what Billy's role in all of this was. And, he's definitely going to go up to the cross and sort of look at it. And he's just taking it all in first before he says anything. Is there anything else he notices? Is Erebus responding to any of this at all, etc.?
Give me another occult roll.
Ooh.
We'll get
Gonna be hard.
Damascus back up on the screen as you visualize him in your mind's eye.
I got a 4. That's not bad.
You recall that he had those red pustules upon him, the same kind that graced the face of that transformed creature that had once been known as Rick Ryder, and the same kind that graced this goblin here before you now. And you remember, someone used to say, in regards to Damascus, that there was a monster inside of him. And there's a little bit of irony that this form he was twisted into when he burned up in that church almost looked like there was a monster emerging from inside of him.
I think Beck's hand is out by his side, and he suddenly feels the bristle of fur walking underneath his hand as, like a cat that wants to be given attention does. Erebus walks up underneath his hand and sort of pets himself upon Beck. And Beck just looks to the tiger and says, "You know this one?"
The tiger doesn't verbalize, but it bristles as if to acknowledge that this is not the face of a creature that it enjoys the presence of. And that distaste does imply familiarity. However, as Erebus manifests beside you, the goblin freaks the fuck out. No! No! Darkness, no! And it tries to break away from Conrad. Conrad, give me a strength roll.
Oops, strength. Oh, yeah, up here.
Ooh, that's not very good.
Oh no.
Still not great. All right.
Goblin on the loose.
We're got a goblin on the loose. It's breaking away. Beck, are you hitting it with the whip?
I wanted to try and grapple it with the whip.
Okay, yeah, you can do that.
Like lash out around its ankle and yank it or something. So I got a 6.
Has an incredibly low parry. How is its parry that low? Wow. Okay. So yeah, that is definitely going to hit it, and you're able to snag it. It plops forward face first into one of the bodies on the ground, causing the ash and dust to dissipate in a thick cloud that makes it sneeze.
Sit still.
No toes.
Listen, we're gonna try to find you toes, and the darkness is on our side tonight.
Beck laughs at that. Beck actively. Oh, Conrad, you are in over your head. You better learn to not shoot your mouth off when you speak, boy. It is never on our side.
And I just silently nod at that.
Maybe Conrad could notice some toes.
Oh, he tried.
I tried.
So I guess
I've been finding some, but I think like they're just way too charred. And
I was gonna say,
I've picked one up, and I feel like he's just kind of like, nope, it's not fresh enough.
They
When
just
you're roasting marshmallows, just gets a little bit too burnt.
Now, Conrad, you're a man of science, ain't you?
Yes.
I think with that, Beck motions with his free hand and just sort of points up at the cross. Or you take those down. What do you think of this? Did you get a good look at this before you fired your gun?
Don't think Conrad was able to see that from his vantage
No.
point outside.
No, I didn't.
Got it. Is crucifixion normal around these parts in your experience?
I really haven't heard much about it, so I'm going to say no.
Thought so. They were feeding something. I've been privy to something like this before. This hunger can change a man. Beck is just motioning for Conrad to feel free to take the feet down off the wall if he really wants to. Are they nailed in there? Good luck.
Yes, they are nailed in. I mean, you don't need the whole foot.
Yeah, I've got a hatchet.
While Conrad is doing that, Beck is basically, he's like pulling up the leash that he's made. He's rolling up his whip around his like elbow the way you do like a vacuum cable.
Mm-hmm.
And he has one boot on top of the goblin's back to prevent him from moving.
Ooh.
He's probably digging his spurs in a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, I've got a hatchet on me, so I can use that to remove the toes, I suppose.
Jared Paulson looking ass.
As you take the feet down and take a hatchet to them, the goblin takes notice of this, and despite the pain he is experiencing from his rough treatment at the feet of Tazlin Beck, he says, "No, hold those!" Seems he doesn't want them removed.
Oh.
Listen here, you ungrateful piece of shit. You don't shut your mouth, I'll fill you with holes.
Holes!
And Beck is kind of leaning down at him, like he has the gun like jammed up underneath his chin.
Okay, yeah. Can I just pry the entire foot off at this point then? Because the foot is severed from above parts, right?
Yeah.
No take, only toes.
Yeah.
Okay. Shut up. I'm just ripping the entire foot off then, and I don't. Am I able to yank it off successfully?
You are.
Okay, so now I hold the severed foot right in front of his face. How does he react?
He leaps upon it, savagely licking and slurping and sucking at those toes. And before your very eyes, the toes vanish off the foot as if it never had toes to begin with.
I don't know if that's better.
And you see the creature swell up with a full belly, like a distinct paunch, as if it has had far more sustenance than you have actually provided. And it writhes in pleasure beneath Beck. Oh, toes.
Does Beck feel anything about this? This
Disgust?
experience? I meant conceptually speaking, this hunger being sated. Does that stir anything? What's going on here?
Give me another occult roll.
What is going on here?
FA front page.
It's hard. It's hard and difficult to roll.
Everyone, I assure you, this is very important lore.
This is very important lore.
I need to understand, am I allowed to click the free reroll whenever it happens, or do I need to keep track of that?
The free reroll is if you have an edge that gives you a free reroll. Like Argo has an edge that lets him free reroll any persuasion.
Gotcha.
Been Betty on that. Ooh, there's that 4. All right.
There we go.
A 6. Excellent. All right. So this isn't something you've encountered before, but you are seeing parallels here to this creature's hunger for toes and the unnatural ways in which it is sated compared to the hunger Erebus bestows upon you and the unnatural way in which it is sated. The way you understand the other side to be laid out, conceptually, it seems as if they might be related in terms of the domain of hunger.
This thing was afraid of my friend here, but I don't know if it's a predator so much as if it's his ruler. You show deference to this one, don't you? And I think Beck gets real close to the creature and goes, "Does a Lord of Hunger speak to you?"
Hunger? Hunger. Toes. Fear. Darkness.
That's what I thought. I think Beck eases up on him now. He's still bound like around the ankle with this expertly lashed like whip crack that he did, but Beck isn't standing on him anymore.
The creature like sprawls out on its back in the afterglow of toes, like rubbing its belly. It's disgusting.
This thing here, it's like a lesser being of the dream. Some kind of, I don't know, avatar of hunger. I don't think it poses much a threat when it's sated. But let him go for too long, and I know what that feels like.
Toe inflation.
So at this point,
Sorry.
I try asking him a second time.
Okay.
Now that he's more satiated.
Mm-hmm.
Lord Barbados. Does that ring a bell?
Barbados. Lord Decay.
Do you know where he is?
Decay. Between fear and hunger.
Mhm.
I think I know what that means.
Is Nicodemus here now? What?
He's not.
No.
Okay.
Out of character.
Is Beck understanding?
Yes. So,
Yeah.
Beck recalls in his days of dreamwalking that one does not traverse the other side in terms of east to west, south to north. Instead, one follows a path of ideas. Common directions might be something along the lines of follow the trail of misery into ruin, and at the nadir of desolation, find purpose. Those are all places one finds through traversal, through thematic links. Simply walking north as far as you can isn't really going to lead you anywhere. So, if this place, this seat of decay, rests between fear and hunger, you sort of get an idea of how you might get there.
We might need to leave sooner than I thought. He's given us directions. Does Beck think that his rare state now of being satiated is going to pose a problem with this journey?
A problem, no, but you don't know how long that's going to last.
Gotcha.
You don't know if you're going to feel satiated for long. You felt this a little bit in the past when Erebus has set upon your most hated of enemies, but this is particularly fulfilling. More so than the others have been in the past, at least. Now,
Hunger is a compass. Your body telling you you need something. No way to go but to look for it. Beck holsters his gun and kind of loosens the whip and just is now going to walk towards the head of the church, I guess. We might need to teach y'all the dream walk. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but I don't know. We'll have to see.
now, give me a notice check for Beck and for Conrad.
Oh.
Love
nope.
to see it.
No, you don't. You hate it.
Oh.
So many
Why won't it
crit
let me
fails.
re-roll it with a Benny? Give it to me.
You can't Benny a crit fail.
Yup, that's
No.
correct.
Which is fun.
Yup,
Especially since you can cause a crit fail with a Benny.
yup.
And then you keep it.
No, the game sucks when I'm doing poorly and is good when I'm doing great. This isn't
Yep.
fair.
Yeah, I'm a Let's Player too.
All right. Conrad, you notice a man walking with purpose towards Taslin Beck.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I clear my throat loudly to get Beck's attention, and I just walk away to make sure I'm not between them.
You may have just saved his life.
Okay.
Beck, I'd like you to draw a card.
Uh-huh. Oh. We gonna quick draw? Because this is gonna be real fun. Which
Yep.
deck do I pull out? The Deadlaws deck? Or...
Let me get you a deck for that real quick. You can just draw from the action deck.
which is called.
I don't think you have access to that. Let me give you access to that real quick.
Okay. I have the action cards discard pile.
One moment. Action deck. This is a hand.
Get y'all's popcorn ready.
Yeah. All right, adding.
But
a
I
quick
like
draw
Bucky.
hand.
What about Becky?
All right. Do you see the quick draw hand now?
I do.
All right.
What do? I open it. Do I press draw?
I believe you do.
And then draw mode top first, number 1, Deadlaw. It says draw from Deadlaws deck or dealing with devil deck.
Let me add the initiative deck. So, all right, now you should be able to draw from the initiative deck.
Initiative deck. All right, let's see. 8 of spades.
All right, and then he is going to draw. He draw back. Wait, what? No, that's not right.
That's an auto win.
Hang on a minute.
He drew the
auspicious
Queen
sign.
of Diamonds.
Uh-oh.
So, as he's coming up upon you, you hear the jingle, jangle, jingle of his spurs after Conrad clears his throat and makes his presence known to you. And a look passes between the two of you. No words are exchanged, but you know in this moment what is about to happen. An unsigned agreement has been made between these two gentlemen, and they know the terms of this duel. Now, Buckshot is going to shoot first. He pulls out his Colt Peacemaker, and he makes a shooting roll. Lightning fast. You have never seen a gun enter a man's hand as fast as this before. He rolls a 7, and that is going to hit you. But let's see if it does enough to put you down for the count.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I have a quick draw perk that allows me to pull an additional action card at the beginning of every round. Did that affect anything like initiative?
Fuck, that means you get another card. You might go before him. Let's draw another card for you.
I can also apparently attempt to intimidate with quick draw. Or not intimidate, interrupt.
Ooh.
And I get +2 on athletics for it to do whatever I want. So
Oh my goodness.
sorry, I knew I had a quick draw skill, I just couldn't remember how it worked, so I had to look it
Yeah.
up. Initiative deck. There's a lot of stuff there. I don't know how
You
that
have to
works.
get like is it a king or an ace to beat that?
Yeah, you have to get a king or an ace, or I think one of the other queens. I don't remember how the suits are arranged.
Initiative deck. King of spades.
Oh my fucking god.
Hell yeah.
Damn.
All right, so I'm going to see how much damage he would have done.
Not hell
assuming
yeah.
he had gotten a turn.
Should we roll at the same time and do a Han shot first type situation?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's roll yours
All right.
out. Let's see that shoot and roll. All right, that's enough to hit him.
Yeah. All right, so I think what happens just in the imagery of it is Buckshot, with conviction, stares back down, and there's that cold silence as this windless night kind of drifts between us. And it's light overhead, the dream light there. But then again, just like before, a shadow passes over, like the moon behind a cloud. And you hear the gunshot go off from Buckshot, but Beck just moves slightly to the right, and the bullet whizzes by him, and he immediately quick draws and fires. And let's see. Do I have to apply damage? How does that work? I press the button?
No, go ahead and roll the damage.
Just roll. Okay. Let's see how it goes.
Oh!
Oh my god.
Bucky, no. This should have
This
been
man-
Rick.
This man is not a wild card. He's an extra. Oh, it is the fastest you've seen a man ever put a gun into his hand, but you know why? That's because you never seen your own hand from that perspective.
I used my Benny here, sorry, just because I was meant to extract it when I clicked on the quick draw. It just didn't do it before. So that's what that was for.
So before that shot can leave his gun, you have already fired. And you have hit him. Where do you think you hit him? You tell me.
Beck is a very experienced gunman, and he has killed many, many people. And he knows better than to aim for someone's head, because you are more likely to miss. So he, just like with Stilton, goes to pierce it right through the center of his chest, center mass.
It's almost romantic, the way they both take that same wound from you. It ties them together, even as this one departs this mortal coil. You drop him immediately. His finger still clutches the trigger and manages to loose that shot, but it goes wide. It doesn't hit you. You shot the sheriff, and you also shot the deputy.
Beck, as he goes down, I want Beck to walk up to him, and as is the right of a winner of a duel like this, he will take his conquest and just immediately rip his throat out with his teeth.
And that's where we're going to end for tonight.
Oh.
Whoa.
Is that standard practice in duels?
Winner
Standard
take
practice
throat?
for Taslin Beck.